There's an off-road suspension component that's very often overlooked, but is just as important as high-performance springs and shocks.
Progressive dampening bump stops.
In this video, we'll be telling you why you need these, why we chose these from Durobumps, as well as providing step-by-step instructions on installing them.
This is going to be the final upgrade to our 4Runner suspension.
Yeah, right.
Now don't be mistaken, these are not just big chunks of rubber. There is a lot of engineering that went into these. They're designed to provide soft dampening at the beginning of their compression, then get firmer the more they're compressed. Right now, with our stock hard rubber bumps, our upward suspension travel comes to an abrupt end.
These will provide a much smoother stop than the hard stock rubber bumps.
There's also a metal mounting plate securely molded into these where they mount to the frame.
Now, why did we choose these from Durobumps?
Mostly because they got such great reviews everywhere we looked. They are the go-to bump stops in the Toyota world.
If everybody uses them, they must be good, right?
There are some other bump stops out there that dampen using a hydraulic cylinder. They probably work okay, but they're very expensive, and that's just one more moving part to break. There are others that look like donuts stacked on top of each other. No.
Next, how to install them.
We're going to be starting in the rear, where we believe the new bumps will make the most noticeable difference.
We've got our suspension dialed in perfectly for what we do and how much we carry. The stock bumps with the Toyota spacer blocks have been working okay, but like we said before, when we do bottom out, it's a jolt.
There are two sizes that Durobumps offers for the rear. Their 3.5-inch tall bump stops are designed for the stock height up to 2 inches of lift. For our full 3-inch lift, we're using their 4.25 bump stops. With these, we can eliminate that spacer block.
I've sprayed the bolts where I could reach with PB Blaster, so they should come out pretty easily.
Turns out our old bump stops did not come off as planned. The bump stop itself we were able to unbolt it from the spacer block, but the spacer block, this is aluminum, and the bolts holding onto the frame are stainless steel, and a lot of times, in this case especially, when you use dissimilar metals together, they tend to, over time, kind of weld themselves together, and that's what happened here. So I ended up having to cut the weld nuts off up here, and we'll just put some nuts on top of the bolts holding our new bump stops on.
The rear bumps are marked driver and passenger side. The notch you see here faces rearward and towards the tire. Our kit came with bolts that already had a spot of Loctite on them. But a little more won't hurt. Since we had to cut off the old weld nuts, we ran to the hardware store and got some new ones. On to the front. The front bump is noticeably longer than the stock bump. That's due to the softer, progressive dampening. They won't limit the up travel at all. I sprayed the threads with some PB Blaster inside the mount, just in case they're rusty. We actually had them off recently, so ours shouldn't be an issue. I'll unbolt them using a simple pipe wrench. You'll notice that we have a spacer on top of ours. You won't have these if you're not running aftermarket lower control arms that require them. Just like the back, it comes with a little Loctite on it, but I'm going to add just a little more.
So we just got back from a drive on some very rough roads, and believe me, we've got some rough ones in our neighborhood, and it does smooth out the big bumps.
I was a little skeptical before we put them on. I didn't think it would make a noticeable difference, but I was wrong.
Yeah, it definitely makes a difference.
If you like this video, hit the like button.
And we hope you consider subscribing to our channel.
Thanks for watching. Right now, with the stock hard rubber
Baby buggy bumpers.
Right now with our hard rubber bumps. God damn, stupid line.
It's gonna take all day.